I mean, it's probably a lost information, but the real armor was basically black armor. Like I say, black people armored themselves with armor plate, and basically, real armor plate is actually titanium. Um, if you, but they also made like some titanium silver, like you can mix it up, so there's a little bit of silver in there or a little bit of gold. So it's basically, I believe, titanium silver or titanium and gold or something like that, or titanium and something else, And it's like a really hard metal. It's not like normal steel. Like I said, there was steel cheesy armor, and then there was the titanium like really good armor, and the black people had all the best stuff. So anyway, and a pickaxe. If you took a sharpened piece of steel pickaxe, like blister steel, like if you take blister steel and then sharpen it, and it's not very strong. I think it fractures and stuff like that. But blister steel, and then you sharpen the tip on it. Um, Titanium armor and anything else, you can't go through it. You'll hit it and it won't actually go through if it's the good armor. Even a hardened steel pick, like it'll just kind of dent. I mean, it hurts and stuff. I mean, we did tests and stuff like that. And like I said, the truth is, they what they did was they basically took. There used to be these big hammers and stuff, and they basically just bashed in the black people's brains because, like I said, they would go and they would use the bow and arrow and stuff like that, and sword, and they would be killing Chinese or whatever. And the Chinese were really good shots, and the Chinese were really, they could shoot between the armor plate right here with a bow and arrow, or like the Indians, they would take the longbow and they would just get the point of the arrow would come and they would hit right here, and they would just slide up and right into the throat, and that's how they would get the black people and the different people in the plate armor. That's why they added the collars to the thing, is because a bow and arrow person would just go right there and they would just hit it right here. All they had to do is just hit it right here. They hit it up here and bounce off, but if they hit it right here, it'd just slide right up in. And anyway, black people and well, they said French and British, but I don't know. I mean, the French and British seem to be on everyone's side, and so same with the Irish and Germans. Like, they would say it was this and that, but I think it was the black people and some Yankees or some Americans, or actually not Americans, because America didn't exist back then. It was Confederates. Yeah, like I said, black people say that they were enslaved and they were blah blah blah, and it's like no, they were actually getting free food and they were actually just living, and it was just a couple black people that went psycho, you know. Anyway, though, like I said, they snuck in, they got a position of power, and then they started doing this whole pops and you care about blah 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 and you care about pops. I mean, and I kind of wish they had kept it because it was like the golden age of like, I mean, it led to something really horrible and really bad, but I mean, because pops was like crazy, and he's like you love pops, you believe in pops, and they also, I think he also had pops like some sort of sucker, like it was like candy fruit, candy fruit whatever, and then he was like Mr. Pops, and it was like the dad, everyone's dad, and all that other stuff. And he was doing all this black propaganda stuff. So, and it was a long time ago. It was like before the 1910s or so. Like I said, realistically, I had built everything, and everything was built as Lucifer Star, me, and then Mr. Pops came in and like started kind of like taking over stuff and like defacing it, and then he was doing Mr. Pops. He kind of twisted everything around to be Mr. Pops and everything like that, and kind of ruined it for everyone and me. But I mean, my era, I came and everything was great, and everyone loved me. They were like, "Oh, you're so amazing, Lucifer! You're awesome!" And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I love you too." And I was like, "Yes," but I didn't really get to enjoy it because Mr. Pops was already trying to like take over, so I didn't really get to enjoy it or nothing. But everyone else did. Like I said, I saw everyone else, and they got to ride on all the nice stage coaches, and everyone was like, "We love the nice stage coaches, and we love the clothes." I mean, everybody was so happy, and everyone loved it, and everyone was so amazed and everything else. And I was like, "Thank you very much." I was really appreciative. And then Mr. Pops came in. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because it was actually kind of cool and kind of interesting the way everything went, and then how like the black people were kind of twisting around, but then when the black people got kicked out and everything else like that, they wanted to come back, and it was like this long range like comeback thing, where they would seize power once more. And Mr. Pops he always dreamed of getting his power back or getting or becoming great again. Like I said, he had basically, it he always had dreams of grandeur and dreams of one day regaining power and being powerful again. And it's like, anyway, whatever. Um, anyway, like I said, he was all a lie. So anyway, yeah. So anyway. But I don't know why they deleted it or got rid of it because, like, well, I mean, it happened, and it wasn't all, for the most part, it wasn't all that bad for most of it. Like, he kind of snuck in quietly, and then kind of like, and then he went psycho and bad, or at least there was badness inside of him, and same with Nixon and JFK and everyone else. Like, it's like this little bad fellas, So, anyway, I kind of wish I could have seen more of it. Well, I mean, I saw a lot of it, so I mean, I witnessed it, so I was there. They were taking me down. But I'm glad it's over. So anyway. And then the black people would count me as their downfall or something. It's like, not really. They were just that psycho that no one wanted them around. Anyway, yeah. So. Anyway, yeah. And then other people, Rodney and everyone else, was like, oh, blah, 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 you're crazy, blah, blah. It's like, no. Anyway. Yep. I wish I could remember more. I really can't. I mean, I tried to save all the information and everything, but a lot of people didn't want it around anymore because, it was like this fake thing or this fake person that had actually tortured so many and hurt so many that they just they didn't want to glorify him, and I didn't really want to glorify him either, but, it's like, well, it did happen, so it's like, and basically, like I say, he just basically, he changed everything from Lucifer, everything said Lucifer star this, Lucifer star that, and he changed everything to Anton, or automaton. He did Anton, well, first he did automaton, then he did Anton or something like that, or Anton then automaton, and, it was all like fake. It was like me calling this e-cigarette made by Brian. It's like, well, it's not really made by Brian, I can say it's Brian's e-cigarette, but it's not. Well, it's mine. It's Brian's e-cigarette, as in it's mine, or Lucifer's. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of funny. It was weird to watch him. Like, he'd dance, and you could see his little tail. He'd have these little long tails. He had these long tails on his coat, and he was black, and he was like this little black guy. He'd, like, dance around whenever he'd be looking at a bomb or something like that. He'd go, oh, we're going to get him, we're going to get him. Like legs going and stuff. And it's like, wow. Wow, anyway. I don't know. It's this old black guy that basically lost all his money, and he's basically going to get back at everyone. So, and it didn't really work out for him, like I say. So, anyway, it was a long time ago, thousands of years ago. It's kind of weird to see because like he'd wear glasses in his old age, and like he had these long, like really long tails on his jacket. Those little like duck tail or V tail or whatever. And he'd like do this little dance when he was looking at bombs and stuff like that and get all excited. But I mean, he was on drugs all the time, so I mean, I don't know, Anyway, some black people had taken pity or compassion on him, and he had turned it around as a psycho knife. And he was stabbing me and stabbing everyone else. So that's Mr. Pops and the black people and what happened to Mr. Black and Mr. Brown. And there should be some historical record about this and them. So, anyway.